Hello and welcome to the Idaho Reports podcast. I'm Logan Finney. Joining us this week is Senator Tammy Nichols to talk about legislation she's working on this session having to do with chickens. Senator Nichols, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Logan.
So talk to me about this bill that you're working on. You're serving as the Senate Agriculture Committee Chair this year, and this is something you've put a lot of effort into. Talk to me about your chickens bill.
Yeah, so over the last few years, one of the big questions that I get from people is first, if they can have chickens, and second, that they become surprised when they move into their home or their residency that they find out that they can't have chickens. Even if their local counties or city ordinances tell them otherwise, it's usually the HOA that's preventing them from being able to have some chickens. And so last year I decided that I started doing some research and finding out other states have ran chicken bills and decided, that'd be a good one for Idaho. Idaho's a huge agricultural state. We do a lot of types of farming and everything. We're always talking about how we can get people interested in agriculture, how we can educate kids so that they know where their food comes from, and get them interested in it so that they're our upcoming generation in farming and the agricultural industry. So I thought chickens should be a good one. That should be one that almost anyone could get behind. So I put together a bill this session to start that process. Made it just a really simple bill, just basically saying that HOAs can't ban chickens, but that gave them all sorts of provisions of things that they still had oversight over, like the number of chickens. And we did that kind of by the lot size that they were on, so 0.2 of an acre for 4 chickens. They could decide if they wanted to allow roosters or not, how the chickens were going to be kept, and all sorts of other provisions. Pretty simple, we thought. And then we got it through the Senate side, piece of cake, and then it got to the House and things changed.
Sure. So just to make sure I'm understanding this right, it wouldn't be completely overruling HOAs or CCR's community covenants and regulations. It's just saying that the chicken ownership can't be banned outright.
Correct. Yes.
So you've gotten it through a version of it through the Senate, and now the sticky wicket seems to be the House Agriculture Committee. Talk to me about the debates going on in the House side.
Yeah, so the first bill that was brought over there, the one that we passed on the Senate, when the hearing was going on, it got into all sorts of weeds. And we've all seen what's been happening with, bird flu and egg prices and all of that, right? So it's very relevant. But they got into the weeds on all sorts of other things, and sometimes it's interesting. HOAs are an interesting governmental body, if you will. A lot of people will say, well, you're entering into a contract and you're agreeing to that. Well, sort of, but not really. When people buy into an HOA, they are agreeing to the terms that are already there. They don't get to dictate those terms. It's not like you and I making a contract together and negotiating the terms on that contract. If you're moving into that subdivision, you're just getting what you get. And they can change those at any time without even your approval on it. So it's a little bit different than just a private contract. So so this was saying that, but some people don't want to override HOAs, but we do it all the time. We actually have a whole section of code that's a Homeowners Association Act where we've said HOAs can't ban solar panels and they can't ban political yard signs or flags, or they can't tell you that you can have drought resistant landscaping. So we've done that sort of stuff, but still there's some hesitancy for some. And this was interesting because the ones that were on the committee that were arguing against the bill were people that are in really agricultural districts and have also been in agricultural themselves. So it was kind of surprising to see that they would be pushing back so hard for the HOAs to be able to tell people they can't have some backyard chickens.
One of the comments that I heard a couple times as people were testifying in that House hearing, they said, unlike chickens, yard signs and political flags don't make a lot of noise, they aren't smelly, they don't spread disease. Do you put a lot of credence into that chickens are a bit more of have a potential for more nuisance than those other things we overrule HOAs on?
Yeah, I don't, because I've raised chickens for about the last 12, 13 years. I have chickens currently right now. I rarely even notice them. I know roosters are one thing, but again, we put the portion into that bill that, they could dictate if they want to allow roosters or not. Totally get that. But hens are a whole nother thing. They're very quiet. They're no noisy than a dog. They're no noisy than a lawnmower. So they're very, very quiet. And, just like you have your dog or your cat or what have you, you take care of those animals. You go out and take care of them and, clean up after them. You can do the same thing with chickens. But with chickens, you can actually utilize anything. I mean, you can feed them all sorts of stuff. You can use the manure, if you will, for in your garden or for other fertilization. So no, I don't give a lot of credence to that.
So there's a Senate bill that has made it through. There have been a couple different House bills. What are the differences between these pieces of legislation? Is it just trying to figure out that right ratio of chickens to acreage?
Yeah, so the first bill, like I said, was pretty simple. It was tabled. The second bill, we started on the House side this time in the Agricultural Committee, and Representative Steve Tanner was just a awesome rock star trying to get that bill and working with everybody on the committee, getting feedback, getting everything put together so that we'd have a good path forward. And so he revised a bit of it. He made some different provisions in there, cleaned it up, clarified a lot of things from the feedback that he got the first time. Still saying that homeowners associations couldn't prohibit chicken ownership entirely, but that they still had purview over several things. And he put a severability clause in there too, saying that if anything was found in here that is found non-legal or doesn't work or any provision of the act, that the rest of it would still come into play, but you could ignore that portion of it.
Sure, if a court struck out a specific section, the rest of the statute
Correct. Yeah, so just really clarified it up, and then changed. It was still the size of the lot, or as otherwise allowed under local ordinance. So that was the other thing. So we gave local ordinances their provisions, we gave the HOA their provisions, and but still giving homeowners the ability to, again, have chickens, but just did a lot of clarification. Thought we had a good path forward. It went into the committee yesterday. There was debate and that sort of thing. There was a motion made, again, to table it. It was an 8-8 is my understanding, and so the motion died and then went to a motion to send it to the floor. And there was some debate on that. Some of the votes that we thought we had changed their minds, I guess. And so it ended up being an 8-8 again, which killed that motion, and so it killed the bill.
Okay, so what is next for you? Are we going to have another version, or?
Absolutely. We are going to figure out a way to free these chickens, and so the plan is to, go back to the drawing board. We might have to run it through a different committee. There might just be something about the Agricultural Committee on the House side, for whatever reason, that just does not want to entertain this. And looking at some of those other laws that we've put into play with homeowners associations, it seems like a lot of those have gone through either local government or through the business committees.
Sure.
So we might try one of those instead, but we're going to go back to the drawing board, get it ready, because I've had tons of emails from people that really want to see this happen. And again, like I said, this is Idaho. We do that sort of stuff here, and people want chickens. They want to have them. There's a lot of other benefits besides just getting eggs from chickens. So we want to try to help preserve our agricultural history and legacy and experience that. So we'll figure it out and bring it back.
Yeah, if I'm remembering right, you've been talking about this bill even before session started, so.
Yes, I have. So it's kind of a passion. It's something I want to see happen, and so, we'll figure it out and come back next session with something.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on the future of the chicken bill as we make that slow march toward Sine Die. Senator Tammy Nichols, thanks for your time this week.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Idaho Reports podcast. Tune in to the Friday show at 8 p.m. on Idaho Public Television, and visit idahoreports.org to stream episodes and keep up to date with the events of the 2025 legislative session.
Celebrating 75 years of science and innovation, Idaho National Laboratory's 6,200 researchers and support staff are advancing the nation's nuclear research, renewable energy systems, and cybersecurity solutions. Presentation of Idaho Reports on Idaho Public Television is made possible through the generous support of the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moore and Bettis family legacy of building the great state of Idaho. By the Friends of Idaho Public Television and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.